She was like looking down and she goes, "What?" And I go, "Yes, my mother gave me this as a birthday present."
Armie Hammer reveals what his mom got him for his 38th birthday, and it's not what you'd expect. During an episode of the Armie Hammer Time podcast, November 11th, Armie is joined by his mom, Drew Hammer, for a mother-son interview, and things get, let's just say, personal. In part 2 of the interview, Drew talks about the surprising gift she gave her son for his 38th birthday.
And let's talk about what I gave you for your birthday this year, the church lady.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What did you give
So
me
I
for
call
my
Armie
birthday?
and I go, Armie, what would you like for your birthday this year? And he goes, oh, I don't know, maybe money, whatever. And I was like, I believe I'm going to give you a vasectomy.
Armie then goes on to detail the experience of what it was like going to the doctor's office for a consultation.
I go to a doctor's office and I go, yes, I'm here to schedule a vasectomy. And they go, great, here's what you need, fill out this paperwork, blah, 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 do a consult with the doctor. Do the consult with the doctor, and he's like, you sure you want to do this? I'm like, I have 2 beautiful kids. I don't want any more kids. I'm good to go. He goes, you sure? Like, listen, it's reversible, but the reversal procedure is way harder and this and that. And I was like, no, I'm sure. Like, they tried to talk you out of it.
Right. Rightfully so.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're not going to talk me out of it. Like, I'm done. I'm good. I'm done. And he goes, all right, great. So go back out to the receptionist and then she'll collect payment and the whole thing. And I go, great. Thank you, doc.
But things quickly got awkward.
Walk out to the receptionist. It's like, okay, are you going to be putting this on insurance? And I go, oh, actually, I don't have insurance. She goes, what? I go, yeah, I haven't had insurance for years. And she was like, oh, okay. Are you going to be putting it on a credit card? And I go, I don't know. My credit cards won't cover this. My mother's going to be calling you and she's going to be paying for it. And she was like looking down and she goes, what? And I go, yes, my mother gave me this as a birthday present. And like, it just was like one of those things, like you could tell she was hearing something and like, I've never heard that. What are you talking about?
As for why his mom Drew offered her son a vasectomy, she explains.
But I just thought, there would be a lot. First of all, it's a miracle we don't have a bunch of little hammers running around. And I said, any young girl.
Not that she knows of.
Would.
I ate them.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? But I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to tell him not to have sex outside of marriage, which is what I'd like to tell him as a Christian mother, but that isn't going to happen. So I know there are these young girls that would love to have Armie Hammer's baby, not to mention he's
maybe
beautiful.
when I had money, they would. Like maybe when they're like, oh, this
they
is
don't
my
even
meal
care
ticket.
because you're going to have money because I know you're called to be an actor.
This podcast is going to be huge.
And it's coming back.
Huge. We're going to make thousands of dollars.
The actor who shares 9-year-old Harper and 7-year-old Ford with ex-wife Elizabeth Chambers was accused of cannibalism and sexual assault by multiple partners in 2021. After a 2-year investigation from the LAPD, no charges were filed against him. However, years later, his mom admits she is proud of how he owned up to all his wrongdoings in the past, telling the podcast further,
my son was not criminally wrong. He was 100% exonerated after a 2.5-year investigation. And if there was a smidgen of things that were wrong that you did as far as a rape accusation, they would have nailed you, pardon the pun. But you were completely exonerated, and we know why. It certainly helps when you're an influencer that you've dated Armie Hammer. I'm not stupid. I'm your mother.
I want to say it was like March or something like that, where my name was the 3rd most searched thing on the entire planet. That had never happened to me before in my career. It had never happened to anything like, and then all of a sudden someone's like, he's a cannibal rapist. And it just was like,
well, I even called you one time and I was like, okay, let me just get this straight. I go, are there any women out there with ribs or limbs missing?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know as a mother.
Yeah.
Because end of conversation if there are limbs or ribs missing.
Right.
So the thought that, and let's be honest, I think you learned not to put stupid things in DMs because no one was eaten, no one was raped, but you were stupid.